Hey people, welcome to the channel, and again talking about survival, security, and self-defense. Critical topics, giving everything that we see happening all over the world. But also there are restrictions, and that's going to be a topic of today's videos. Guys, if you want to learn more honestly about survival and preparedness without the fear and paranoia, I've been doing this professionally for a long time, many years, and you have my books and the channel. The channel, you can just subscribe right now. There's a lot of information and videos already uploaded. The books, right there, Surviving the Economic Collapse, as well as Street Survival Skills. In Street Survival Skills, I cover a number of the skills and techniques taught in self-defense classes using different tools such as firearms, knives, and a lot more. These are the things I've learned from instructors that I share with you guys through my work, through my books, which you have in Amazon in the links right there below. Maybe one of the things that I think is far more important than using the tools, which I believe is critical when you have no option, is avoiding the fight in the first place. That's also something I address in my books a lot because I know how important it is. I know how much better it is to not even be in the fight. And there's different techniques, awareness, and a number of things you can do so as to de-escalate violent encounters, not find yourself in them in the first place, and a lot more. In this case, I thought about this video because I saw an article from a firearm that was being sold in UK, right? It was in a website. They were selling a Winchester lever action rifle, very much like the one you see here. I think it was a little bit longer because mine is a little bit short here. And I think that the restriction is 16 inches for carbines. Anyway, I just saw a lever action rifle, Winchester 357 Magnum, being sold in UK for £1,000. You need the firearms license, whatever it is that they're asking you for these days. But I thought, man, that is a very decent option for self-defense. I would not feel poorly armed with a lever action 357 Magnum carbine like the one I have here. It is actually something that back in the day in the Wild West and Cowboys, this was the original tactical carbine of the era. We have several accounts of how when this was first deployed and was being used by groups, it was overwhelming the firepower that they had compared to the weapons of the era. And maybe it's a little bit not the case anymore, but in countries where you have these restrictions, this is still very much a valid option. Of course, I have a revolver there also in 357 Magnum. One of the more attractive things of these systems was that it uses the same cartridge as your revolver, right? So you had a 45 Colt or you had a 4440 revolver, and you had a carbine in the same caliber, so as to use the same round, the same ammunition, the logistics being simplified. Why I have the knife over there? Well, I just thought it looked very nice. Now, honestly, there's a movie called Seraphim Falls. Pierce Brosnan and Liam Neeson. You have to watch that movie if you haven't seen it. It is Pierce Brosnan, Liam Neeson, and Amuela Magnum 26, which is that same knife. That is another actor in that movie. Beautiful movie. You have to watch it. Anyway, the revolver for the UK legislation, maybe not so much. I know that there's these things with a rod that is welded and anyway, a bunch of bullshit that it just hurts my eye to even see those things. But when it comes to a carbine, you're talking about something that has a very decent magazine capacity. For those of you that don't know, a lever action has a tubular magazine. So the one on top, the barrel on top is the actual barrel through which you fire, and the metal tube below that's the actual magazine. The rounds go right in there, and you have 9 + 1 in the chamber. That gives you 10 rounds of 357 Magnum to be used to defend yourself if you have no option left. It is true that you have to work the lever for each round you fire. So you fire, you work the lever, you eject and put another round in the chamber, and then you use the trigger again and again and again. It is not semi-automatic, which is just pull, pull, pull. No, here you have to work the lever each time you want to have a fresh round in the chamber to fire. So it is actually something you can get very quick at, and I believe there's different cowboy action shooting disciplines. I'm pretty sure it's the case also in UK because I competed in one of those cowboy action shooting events in UK. So I know that this is a thing. Exactly what is it that you can have depending on where you are and whatnot, but this is an option. And I know that there's some guys, not my case, there's some guys that are super quick with it. It almost looks as if they're firing a semi-automatic or full auto. They're just extremely quick. That requires a level of training, and being honest, it's the kind of thing that is easier to do in a cowboy action shooting competition, maybe not so much in self-defense. Sometimes people make these parallelisms and it's not quite the same, but it is true that with practice makes perfect. So practicing a lot will mean that you're going to be very, very fast with that lever action. Lever actions can be quite fast. It is a lot of fun. You can practice dry firing these things to get very good at it. But going back to the topic, guys, I think that if you're in UK, this is definitely one of the options you may want to consider. Lever action rifle in a pistol cartridge round, so as to have a good amount of firepower at your disposal. Folks, that's going to be all for now. See you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Take care.